Hey everyone, TwoAngryFrogs here, and we have a new Nemesis for War Within Season 3. Nexus Princess Ky'veza returns from her previous defeat, and oddly enough, she took Brann's stuff, including his clothes, which seems to be a recurring problem with Brann. In this video, I'll show you the builds and curios I used, the mechanics to expect, and how to counter them, and other tips and tricks to defeat her. I'll also throw in some additional tips for the Beast Mastery hunters out there. But before we jump in, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you always know what's coming up next. Now, let's take down Ky'veza. We'll start by talking to Brann at the Delver's headquarters and pick up the quest Ethereal Delves. Brann will then give us the quest seasonal reminder, and for this you just need to talk to Reno Jackson to get the Delver's cosmetic surprise bag, talk to Sir Finley to get the Delver's starter kit, and then review the Delver's guidebook on the table. After doing this, you'll get the quest Repossessed, and Brann will tell you about his lost gear and that he needs help recovering it. On the table in front of Brann, you'll see a writ of repossession, and clicking on that will get you started towards finding Ky'veza. So we'll head to Foundation Hall and head through the portal to Tazavesh. Note that if you don't have this open yet, you can talk to Locust Walker in Foundation Hall and grab the quest A Shadowy Invitation to get the portal open. Once you're in Tazavesh, follow the clues to the main hub, and then you'll confront F. Name, who turns out to be Ky'veza. Head back to Brann and turn in the Repossessed quest, and you'll get the quest Defeating Ky'veza. Turning this in will also get you the new Season 3 Delver's mount, the Delver's Mana Skimmer. So with that, you can head back to Tazavesh, and you'll find the entrance to the Void Razor Sanctuary Delve behind some curtains on the ground level. You'll find these at waypoint coordinates 38.9, 51.8. You'll either have the option of doing the normal or question mark difficulty, and this unlocks when you clear a Tier 7 delve with lives remaining in Season 3, or you can get the hard difficulty, which is the double question mark, and this unlocks when you clear a Tier 10 delve with lives remaining in Season 3. So let's get into the talents and the Brann build. As far as your character, you definitely want to go with a single target build because this is a full single target fight. And make sure in the class talent selections you have plenty of defensives and self-heals selected. As far as Brann, it's best to set him as DPS or heals depending on how much healing you need, but it's not a good idea to set him as tank due to some mechanics that we'll talk about here in a minute. For your combat curios, you can either select Nether Overlay Matrix, or you can select the Hatterang. For utility, it's best to select the Audio Amplification Crystal or Battered Aegis. For the normal defeat that I had, I went with the Hatterang and Battered Aegis curios. You also want to make sure that you use consumables, so any elixirs or potions or weapon oils, you want to make sure that you apply those. And remember that Brann now always makes a campfire, so make sure you sit down and eat some of that for a 5% stat increase to your primary stat for 10 minutes. For Beast Mastery Hunters, you can either go Pack Leader or Dark Ranger, either one works fine. But you do want to make sure to turn off Growl on your pets, as they will die a lot during this fight if you've got them aggroing Ky'veza. So let's talk strategies. So the golden rule on this fight is your damage does not matter nearly as much as focusing on the mechanics. There are a lot of one-shot mechanics in this fight, and increased damage is basically just going to get you where you don't have to do them as often, but you're still going to have to see them all at least once. So as we talk through the mechanics, you'll see the attack rotation in a very specific order. So you'll see Nexus Daggers, Nether Rifts, Dark Massacre, then Nexus Daggers again, Nether Rifts, Dark Massacre, Nexus Daggers, and then you'll see Invoking the Darkness, and then it's rinse and repeat until either you're dead or she's dead. So for normal difficulty with Nexus Daggers, what you're going to see is a lot of blue lines shoot out across the floor. The best thing to do here is small steps either to the left or right, or backing up just a bit so you don't get overwhelmed with the overlapping line. For Nether Rift, there will be 3 purple circles that will drop on the ground, and once those complete, you'll get 3 portals. The portals drag you in, and if you're dragged into a portal, it's an instant death. Here you want to save some movement skills just in case you make a mistake in placing the portal, so you can continue to run away from it. Or if Brann jumps or doesn't move, which he often does, and he places a portal in an awkward position. What you want to try and do is get the portals in a triangular shape, and then basically you're getting pulled equally by all 3 portals, and it keeps you pretty much stationary. So next we have Dark Massacre, and this can be really difficult to spot. One of the things that you can do to improve this is turn off anti-aliasing and make sure you have outline mode set to high. This can make the red outlines show up a lot more. You have to make sure that you're facing each of the clones that will shoot forward, and you'll see a red line that points at the direction that the clone is going to shoot. Finally, we have Invoke the Shadows, and for this, you're going to have a number of clones, and look for the one that says which is real. That's your actual Ky'veza. You're going to follow that Ky'veza as she darts back and forth between the clones, and then you need to select her once she stops. If you select the wrong one, again, it's an instant death. If you're looking directly at her, it can be really difficult to keep track of where she's at, and one thing that I found that helped was standing in the center of the clones and look at your character, and then use your peripheral vision to follow her as opposed to trying to follow her directly. I found I was able to spot her 75 to 80% of the time using peripheral vision as opposing to looking directly at her. For hard difficulty BM hunters, you definitely want to turn off growl, any taunt that your pets have. I also recommend going with Dark Ranger as opposed to Pack Leader. What I found during the fight was that in Pack Leader, pets died immediately, regardless of whether you had taunt on or off. In addition, this fight actually can be a lot better with a tank just for the survivability, so if you have a good tank to play that has decent DPS, that may be the way to go. As far as hard difficulty is concerned, there's no new mechanics, you just have changes for each of the individual mechanics. So as far as Nexus daggers, she fires 2 additional, and the delay between the clones firing the blue lines on the floor is much shorter. During Nether Rift, when she applies the circles around you and Brann and herself, she'll also cover the room with 3 triangle areas that you have to stay out of, because when the portals spawn, if you're in one of the triangular areas, that's an instant death. For Dark Massacre, she'll summon 3 additional clones, so you need to follow and make sure you face 6 instead of 3. And then for Invoke the Shadows, the shuffle now happens slightly faster, and she shuffles 4 additional times. I've yet to get through this one yet. It's extremely reactive and requires you to think really quick, so this fight is quite difficult as far as keeping up with everything that's going on. If you defeat her on normal difficulty during Season 3 of War Within, you'll earn a My Stab Happy Nemesis achievement. Looting Ky'veza after defeating her will reward the Haladar's Phase-Bound Visor Helmet Transmog, and you'll get the Nether Overlay Matrix Curio for Brann. Then, when you turn in the Defeating Ky'veza quest to Brann, you'll get the Etheric Victory Toy. This lasts 30 minutes and provides a really cool aura around your character. The aura is removed if you move your character, but it does come back again when you stand still. If you defeat her on hard difficulty, you'll earn the Pruning the Princess achievement, and this rewards the title Contract Killer. If you manage to do this solo, you also get the Let Me Solo Her Nexus Princess Kyveza achievement. This achievement will reward the Delver's Mana Skimmer Schematic Hyperdrive, which is the Void transformation for your Delver's Mana Skimmer mount. So is this the best Delve boss for War Within? I found I enjoyed the normal version of this one more than any others during the War Within, but the hard one, maybe not so much. It really depends on what type of fight you like. There are a ton of one-shot mechanics on this fight, which can make it very discouraging. So, what do you think? You like the fight or no? Share your solo experiences and any strategies and questions you have down below in the comments. And a special shout out to our members for your continued support. We thank you very much. and everyone. Have a great day.